Giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. 49ers, 34. Jacksonville Jaguars, 3. And it is a Monster Monday here on 95.7 The Game. Live and local, all day, breaking down the 49ers, the Jaguars, maybe getting a little bit of the Warriors sprinkled in throughout the day. Not a good weekend for the Dubs. Speaking of the Niners getting off a 3-game schneid, the Warriors now find themselves on a 3-game losing streak. Nuggets, Cavs, T-Wolves, and they're going to get back in action against the T-Wolves tomorrow for the in-season tournament, part 2. Yeah, not a good weekend. Dubs looked old. Now look fresh. And Anthony Edwards, it's a good little player out in Minnesota, to say the least. So maybe sprinkle a little Dubs throughout the day. Not a great weekend for them, especially going up against some of the younger and athletic teams. 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text the Comcast Business Text line. And also be sure to hit us up on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Again, search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe there. All right. 49ers dominate. Move to 6-3. How are we feeling? We're all good now, right? Like that 3-game losing streak, I don't know who that team was. This was the 49ers from the first 5 weeks. Now, you're a sum of your parts, right? So during that 3-game losing streak, some of that was the 49ers. Some of it. But that was 49ers football yesterday. Going on the road, off a bye, and the 49ers played like the more desperate team. The team that wanted it more. From the tip. Fred Warner flying around. Nick Bosa flying around. Chase Young, powerful push in the pocket. They dominated the trenches. And if you dominate the trenches, you're going to win the Super Bowl. It's as simple as that. That's why the Eagles are where they are, because they dominate the trenches. And can the 49ers make this a true 2-team conference? I always still thought it was. I still don't know what to make of Detroit. Good win against the Chargers. But the Seahawks, right? Cowboys, okay, you dominated the Giants twice this year. Congratulations. They played the Eagles tough a couple weeks ago. We'll see. I'm still not a huge believer in them. When they play truly elite teams, it feels like they are still just a step below. But from the 49ers, that looked like a top 2 team in the conference yesterday. What say you? 888-957-9570 is the number. And they looked like that. And speaking of dominating the trenches, both on the defensive and offensive line, Trent Williams has a tremendous impact on that. And him being out the last few weeks was felt everywhere, especially in the run game. Especially for Christian McCaffrey, who finished the game 16 carries, 95 yards, averaging damn near 6 a carry. Great day for Christian, even though he didn't get his touchdown. And I have something to say about that a little bit later as well. Don't know how I feel about, forcing the issue with Christian late when the game was already over. Felt like you were kind of tempting fate there, but we'll get into that. But Trent Williams being out. Shanahan. Real quick. Oh, no, don't have that one. It's okay. Hashtag new studio. Got deleted into the ether. All good. But speaking of the offensive line, here's the guy I just mentioned, Christian McCaffrey, CMC, who all of a sudden looked like himself again when he got Deebo Samuel in there and Trent Williams. Here he is talking about the offensive line.
I thought the O-line did a great job all day. That's a really good defense. That's a good rush defense, too, and they have the numbers to show it. And I thought our guys did a great job, and it was good having 71 back out there. But I thought all 5 of those guys, the tight ends, Juice, they did a hell of a job all day just sticking with it, sticking with the run game, getting some of those gritty yards, and then, in the second half, start to pop some of them.
started to pop some of them. 888-957-9570. Christian McCaffrey had a hell of a day. Again, 16 carries, 95 yards. And that was what was missing. A balanced offensive attack. During that losing streak, they couldn't run the ball. And again, part of that is Deebo Samuel. Part of that is not having Trent Williams out there. It's a huge part of it. I mean, literally and figuratively, because Trent Williams is a massive human being. I mean, I would be scared for my life seeing that guy running out, trying to set the edge, and you're running behind him. It's a great feeling. On the opposite end, if you're some of those Jags corners, like, oh my God. And Daryl Moose Johnson was talking about it, former fullback and now commentator with Fox Sports, and he was on the call yesterday with Joe Davis talking about, yeah, God bless whatever DB is trying to tackle Christian McCaffrey when they got Trent Williams blocking for him. God bless it. But it was a balanced offensive attack yesterday. Passing, running. It was all clicking for the 49ers, like it was, again, in the first 5 weeks. So why is it so hard? Just do that every week, guys, right? Well, again, other teams get paid too. And during that 3-game losing streak, and we saw it yesterday, hey, Cleveland got another dub. That's a tremendous comeback victory for them. All of a sudden, that loss to Cleveland doesn't look so bad. Again, PJ Walker played a little bit yesterday too when Deshaun went out. Came back, and we'll wait to see again the whole Deshaun Watson injury saga as another twist and turn. By the way, the AFC North, oh my God, just a bloodbath. The AFC in general. Like, the 49ers being 6-3 in the AFC, you'd be sweating. You don't even know if you're a lock for the playoffs. In the NFC, they're a lock. You kidding me? Again, I think they're a lock for the NFC Championship game, especially after yesterday's, but still early, 9 games in. Lot of football to be played. But the AFC North, my God. But that Browns loss, all of a sudden, okay, I can wrap my head around it. The Minnesota Vikings, Josh Dobbs, comeback player of the year alert. You kidding me? Guy's getting the bag this season if he keeps playing that way. I'm rooting for Dobbs, especially with Kirk Cousins, the way that ended, the Achilles, just brutal. He was playing so well. So it's nice to see Dobbs step in there. And hell, maybe they have a playoff run in them. So that loss isn't looking as bad. And then the Bengals, who were upset yesterday against, some are saying, the MVP frontrunner and rookie of the year frontrunner. Yeah, you heard that right. CJ Stroud is getting MVP consideration as a rookie. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So I say all that to say losses and expectations shift throughout a season. A loss might look bad 1 week, a few weeks down the road. You know what? That team's actually pretty good we just lost to. So it's okay. And maybe we look at the Jaguars. Maybe they shift their season. They go on another 5-game winning streak. And, oh, wow, we dominated that Jaguars team. So, like, things can change is all I'm saying. 888-957-9570, week-to-week league, as you all know. We got one more segment. I want to hear from you. 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text. I want to hear from the 49er faithful. Start lining them up. 888-957-9570. What was the most impressive aspect of yesterday's win? And on the other side, we're going to get into Steve Wilks and was moving to the sideline, the key to everything. Plus, Kyle Shanahan, what are you doing? Tempting fate. And I didn't like it. I'm going to say it right now. I did not like it. I'll explain on the other side. It's a pregame show, Joe Spadoni, on a Monster Monday, 95.7 The Game.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.
Aren't regulated. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Dub Nation, this is Tim Roy, and you're listening to the Pregame Show on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks, Tim. The great Tim Roy at Warrior Fox. Voice of the Golden State Warriors right here on 95.7 The Game. Not a good weekend for the Dubs. Dropping 2. They are now 6-5. 1-3. What's going on there? We'll diagnose that as the week goes on. They're back in action tomorrow. In-season tournament part 2. And you can catch all that action right here again on 95.7 The Game. But it's a monster Monday here on The Game. We're talking Niners. Massive. And it's the win of the year. Not even close. Missed me with the Dallas game. No. This was a win they needed to have. This was a win that needed to calm a fan base down. And more importantly, this was a win to just keep pace in the NFC West. Seahawks won again yesterday. They're tied right now. And they have a massive showdown next Thursday on Turkey Day. Where's my turkey gobble? Where's that at? Hold on. I need to find this as I digress here. 888-957-9570. The number to call or text and start lining them up. 888-957-9570. Because Bonte and Joe Shasky, here in about, T-minus 11 minutes or so, they're fired up. They're already getting after it in the prep room. No, not that one. Come on. Turkey. It's all right. It's one of my favorite drops. It was the only drop that ever made Rick Tittle laugh here at the station. Former host here at 95.7 The Game. Love me some Ricky Tittle. Thank you. There it is. Now I'm happy. I can go on with my day. And speaking of going on with their day, Steve Wilks. Hey, much was made about this guy the last 3 weeks. He was probably the biggest name outside of Nick Bosa or Brock Purdy. Steve Wilks needs to go. This isn't the same defense. D'Amico, Rob Saleh, those guys were fiery. They were getting after it. This is an outside hire. He's not one of us. He needs to be on the sideline, get him out of the booth. He doesn't have a pulse of this team. Comes down, and now, listen. If we want to give all the credit for him coming down to the sideline, sure. If that makes you feel better and it makes you reinforce your original take, fine. I think that was tremendously overblown. I just think the players needed to play better. I think they need to be revamped, refocused, and that's what they were yesterday. I don't think him going to the sideline was all of a sudden they just shift, oh, there's our leader. All right, time to turn it on. No. Now, communication-wise, that's what they said it was for, so maybe that was just better. But ultimately, the entire team felt the desperation of needing a win. That was hammered from the coaching staff during the bye week and this week of preparation heading into Jacksonville. That's what that win yesterday signaled to me. The more desperate team won. A team that was coming off a 5-game winning streak. I didn't see that team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. In fact, if you would have told me the Niners were the team on a 3-game losing streak, I'd be like, what? That team? No chance. Well, that's what happens with momentum. It's a funny thing. It's a week-to-week league. And for this week, I think they're going to go on another run here. I do. Again, I was looking at the schedule for the 49ers. They got the Bucks coming up. Again, Turkey Day against the Seahawks. Then the massive showdown. Woohoo, 3 weeks at Philadelphia. That can't be Sunday Night Football, right? No chance. December 3rd. They're not flexing out of that one. Let me see. December 3 football games. As I do this on the fly, what's the Sunday Night Football matchup right now? Bengals, Jaguars. They're probably not going to flex that. Those teams will be too good. It was a nice try. But that's going to be the prime time in the afternoon. That's going to be the Fox slot. Absolutely. Because I'm looking at some other games around there. Yikes. It's actually a horrible week. Ugh. Patriots, Chargers, Dolphins, Commanders, Chiefs, Packers. Gross. Browns, Rams. Yeah, Niners, Eagles, not even close. Oh. Speaking of the Eagles, by the way, they have a huge slate of games coming up here. They got Monday Night Football next week because they're on a bye. At Arrowhead. That's definitely the Monday Night Football game of the year. Then they got the Bills. Then they got the Niners. Then they got the Cowboys, Seahawks. And then, of course, they finished the year Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So maybe a moot point there, but the number 1 seed, not dead just yet. Just yet. And expect that game to be even more massive if there are number 1 overall seed implications heading into December 3rd. Because they could easily lose to the Chiefs. And then all of a sudden, Niners coming on a winning streak. Eagles lose that game. They ain't the number 1 seed anymore. It's the San Francisco 49ers. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But the whole Steve Wilks thing, as I digress there, sideline booth, who gives a damn? Just play better. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about not making decisions based on what the media thinks. It's pretty good.
I try to make decisions not based off of having to talk to you after the game. I try to make it on what I think's right for a team. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but I'm not going to think about you until after the game, so then I can just deal with it.
Then I could just deal with it. He basically said, he's like, I think it was overblown, the whole booth to sideline thing. I do too, but you know what? Who cares? They won the damn game. More from the defense, and particularly the pass rush today. Kyle Shanahan, your thoughts on Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, as the team combined for 5 total sacks and just crushing the Jag Spirits.
From what I saw there, it seemed like he had a big impact. I know watching him and Nick there on that same play, I'll see when I watch the tape, but just having him out there and allowing our rotation to go, and from what it looked like to me, I thought we rushed collectively the best that I had seen. I'll tell you guys tomorrow after I watched it on the plane, but just watching it live on the sidelines, it seemed collectively our group had their best game yet, and that's the goal.
Scary hours. If this is what we're going to see from the 49ers defense, RIP the other team's quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, don't think he's got a shot next week. I'm sorry. I feel like I need to bet the house on the 49ers. I don't know what the look-ahead line in that game is. It's got to be close to double digits. At least a touchdown favorite. And we saw what they did to the old man Brady last year in Tampa. Now Baker's coming in. Oof, Chase Young, all of a sudden, I'm telling you, this Niners team just washed away an entire month of bad football with one win. That's hard to do. I'm not scoffing at that. It is very hard to do in the NFL. To have such a dominating win and check all the boxes for a fan base, to quell that fear and that anxiety. And people might be listening, fear and anxiety is just a sport. No, people live and die with this stuff. I'm with you. That's why I love talking sports with you lovely people, because you're like me. We live and die with this stuff. Your mood would have been at an all-time low had they lost that game yesterday. 4-game losing streak after a bye. The season's falling apart. My life is falling apart. That's what it feels like. We love this. We live and die with it. But a victory Monday and a win like that? Oh my God. Go have the steak dinner. Go have Taco Bell breakfast, baby. Come on. God, I love me some Taco Bell breakfast. Super underrated. Go for a Crunchwrap breakfast, whatever, sandwich, whatever the hell you want to call it right now. Give me the steak one too. Going a little more expensive there. That's fine. Give me the fire sauce. Give me the hot sauce. Give it all to me, baby. 49ers 34-3. Real quick, before we hand it over to Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky, the Morning Roast. Okay. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, tied the record. Most consecutive games, scoring at least one touchdown as a skill position player, tying Lenny Moore of the Baltimore Colts, 17. Needed one more to have the sole record, 18. Wasn't happening. Kyle Juszczyk, he got the touchdown late. It's like, all right, that's probably it. But there was an opportunity late, and Kyle Shanahan went for it. And here's Shanahan talking about, and the game was already over at this point. They were crushing him. It was night, see you later time. It's 34-3. We're still trying to, run up the score. And here's Shanahan talking about trying to get McCaffrey the touchdown record.
18 games in a row is a big record. So, if we had a chance to do that, I was going to try to do it for him. And it's a little nerve-wracking. Last thing I want to do is get him hurt. But once it was big time for Elijah to run the ball like that to get us down there. Brock and I think Ronnie made a huge third down throw, I believe, that gave us a chance. And once we got close, we told him to stay loose because we were going to try. And got close, wish we could have done it for him. But I think that was a pretty big accomplishment just to do it for 17 games straight. So.
Okay. So he was obviously cognizant of the record. They kept trying to do it. They kept trying to feed him every single time. Here's McCaffrey on thanking the guys for bringing him back in the game to try to go for the record.
No, that means a lot to me for them to keep me in at the end of the game there and try to get me that record. But hey, I'll take a huge win.
I don't need the most skilled player on my team trying a rinky-dink record late in the game in a blowout. I don't need that extra, couple of touches for a guy already dealing with an injury to the oblique. I don't think that's all of a sudden just gone away. A torn oblique. A guy that's notoriously injury prone throughout his career. I don't need him getting put in extra harm's way late in a game. That's tempting fate. That is. I didn't like it. I'm not going to say it was chicken blank. I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to say I got some concerns there. In a dominating win, I don't need my stud running back trying to go for a record that, let's be honest, congratulations. You broke Lenny Moore's record. Did anyone know who Lenny Moore was or this record even existed prior to this Christian McCaffrey thing? Did anyone even know? If you did, you're a liar, or your name is Ken Jennings. Shout out Jeopardy. No one knew this record. Oh, Ed, dude, do you know who has the most consecutive touchdowns for a skill position player in NFL history? No, because I don't care. It's not those all-time touchdowns. It's not the all-time passing yards leader. It's not any of that. It's not the all-time rushing yards or rushing touchdowns. It's consecutive games by a skill position player with a touchdown. I don't care. You know what I do care about is the Morning Roast. That's going up next with Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky. You like that, little Bonta? That was my Chris Paul. You might not like that. It's all right. They're going up next. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni. 49ers get a huge win on the road, snapping the losing streak.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.